Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Beth from Art by Bedell, and today I am going to be working again in the Lapbook that goes with our series that we've been doing. And I have to apologize for not being here for a little while. I was a little bit burnt out, and so I needed to take some time to rejuvenate and to be inspired. And yesterday was Mother's Day. And I don't have my mom anymore. I lost her 2 years ago, so I needed to get away specifically on yesterday. And I took the day and went out and did some bird watching. I love to watch birds. I've seen an eagle. I've just seen so many different birds other than what I get here in my backyard. An osprey flying, and oh my gosh, I could hear the flapping of his wings. He was so low. It was just the most awesome thing. It's put me back in the right spirit again to work in my journal with my family photos that I'm working on, which are kind of tough and yet very rewarding. Rewarding that I can remember all the wonderful good times our family had together. And tough in that I've lost so many over the last couple of years, my mom, dad, brother. And so it was hard to get back into journaling these pages. The idea of doing this journal is to think positive thoughts only. And being that I was kind of in a sad, not so positive mood, it was hard to work here. So I needed that time away. And again, I apologize, but we're back. So the last page we left off that we did was of Mom and Dad, and we're going to do that flip up. And I have this that we did, this flip up on the back side of it. Let's see. Yes. And all I'm going to do here is nothing. Actually, I have a picture of my mom and dad, and I'm just going to put it in here. Pictures that I can take out and look at and just tuck it in the tuck spot. And that's all I'm doing for that page. Now, we're working on the vellum page today. And this vellum page, I have a family picture of all of this. And again, it's going to be real simple. I'm just going to put this right underneath the vellum and then do a little work on the side of the vellum. So let's get our picture in place first. And we'll just use some of our Barely Art glue and glue along the 4 edges and get this photo down. I am gluing off screen here and getting along all the edges of it. Put it right in. Oops, we don't want it upside down. Put it right in here. And I have trimmed the picture so that it fits just perfectly underneath the vellum. Okay. Now I've also chosen a piece of, or not a piece, but a whole smaller paper doily. I had to think of what it was called. And I am going to ink around the edges with some of my Distress ink, the brush corduroy, as soon as I find my applicator. Here we go, of this doily. And I will just do the outside edge a little bit. And again, I was off screen, sorry. So there we go. And I will put just a little bit of glue right along the middle of that. I don't want it necessarily glued tightly down. I don't think I'll use it as a tuck spot, but I sometimes don't like things just to be glued flat right down. I like to have just a little bit of movement with them. And that's the way I feel about this doily today. So I have been working on cutting out some flowers, some florals, some spring florals. And I was going to incorporate one on this, but they're all kind of too big or going the wrong direction. I could just do a part of it that's still, even if I cut off these bottom leaves, I think is too big. So let's look at the daffodil. I'm not totally sold on that being there. I think it's too big. I don't want to cut it up. So we're going to look into something else here. I have this washi tape. We could do a little collage on this probably. I'm thinking that's what we'll do. Let's look into a little piece of lace. And we have this up here, so if we do one here, then we're still going to be missing something down here to do the threesome. But I could do something underneath down here. I don't know. I just feel like I want this here. I know I want this here, but it's competing with this. I know what I'm missing, guys. I'm missing my label. That's what I want here. I want a label. So I didn't print out the word family, and that's what I decided I wanted to put here. Then I remembered that I had one in my rubber stamp collection that says family on it. I also had this stamp that said, life's blessings are abundant when each and every one is not only counted but cherished. And maybe that's what I want to put there. I could probably put family underneath, or I don't know. To me, it's just maybe not the right font for this. I'm going to do the quote. And I want to stamp it on, something where it's going to show. Let's try it. We're going to have to do black ink, I believe. We have India black ink. Let's try it on a piece of craft paper that has been coffee stained. And let's see. You know, I'm not happy with the way that's not dark enough. It's just a matter of getting enough ink on my stamp. I haven't used this in a while. It's pretty dry. That's better. That might work. We get that torn down and take a look at it and see what we think. So we'll just rip it. I think this will be a nice contrast on the white doily, but it might be too dark for our font to show up real well. So let's go around the edge of that with some distress ink and then take a look. We'll lay it on our doily and see what we think. I think there'll probably have to be another piece of something. I can't just do a doily and one piece of paper. Not if we're going to try to keep things in threes. So, yeah, I don't mind that there. I have to bring it down a little. Maybe, let's see. What else we might have? We have our gold paper that we've been incorporating a little bit here and there. So maybe a little bit of gold paper there would be a good idea. I'm just looking for different things that we've been using in our journal, in our Lapbook journal, that we want to incorporate so that we can keep it all looking rather cohesive. So here's a piece of the paper that we've been using throughout our journal. And I'll just tear a little strip of that and ink it up. Kind of winging it here today, guys. I had the photos, but I didn't really have the ideas all lined up. So you'll see it as it is when I'm thinking. Okay, so let's see what direction we want that. I'm kind of thinking that I like to put it here instead, which would mean let's go off the edge a little and let's put our gold paper on here. And let's just do something like this and then like this. And yeah, I can be happy with that. So let's glue that down. Again, we'll use our Barely Art glue. These pages are so nice to do because, of course, we've already done all the work on them. We're just finishing them off. But it's nice to do when you just want to sit down and you want to accomplish something without getting like really overly involved. You just like maybe a 10-minute project or something, guys. Sometimes we need those projects that are small projects and not ones that take like all day to complete. All day to complete. Okay, so let's get our, and we're not going to try leaving a tuck spot or a pocket or anything here. I think that would just be too much. There. So, no, I'm just going to glue that down. All right, I'm happy with that. I think that looks nice. It still is missing like a third thing. So if I did stamp, what if I stamped and embossed underneath here? I think that might be a thing to do. So I have my gold embossing powder and my Versamark pad. I put something here that will keep, I don't want a chance of putting anything that has ink on it. See if that glue stick will hold that there. No, it just wants to roll. How about some scissors? There, just so it doesn't fall back on us. And I'll take out the tags that are underneath. We get a firmer surface to stamp on, and that way we'll get a better print, hopefully. So I'm inking this up really well with Versamark ink. Versamark is a watermark stamp pad that also doubles over as a embossing ink that will hold on our powder for us. So try not to rock it. And we get family hopefully on there. Let's get a coffee filter. Coffee filters work great to catch the embossing powder because the powder won't stick to them afterwards. And get that shook off if we can. If this will bend, it's not going to bend. So that means we have to pick it up and shake it off. Our scissors back there so it doesn't roll over and mess up our stamped image. Now, if you should get like embossing powder around that stuck on there where you don't want it, just take a dry paintbrush and flick it off. Okay, we're going to heat set this. All right, now I'm not bothered by the fact that that didn't stamp perfectly. It has, not sure if you can see, but like right in here are some spots that apparently there wasn't any ink, and so there's no embossing powder there. They're just little spots. To me, for a junk journal, it all ties right in. It's not perfect. It looks a little bit rustic and a little bit aged, so I'm good with that. But if you were doing a card or a journal page where you have like pristine images, or it's white, or it's not aged, it's not vintage looking, you might want that to be perfect. All would not be lost. There is also a Versamark pen, and then you could just go over that again and add more powder to it and get your solid image, which would look better in a different type of album. So here we have family underneath. It's clouded over by the fact that we have vellum laying over top of it, and that's what I wanted. So I have my 1, 2, 3 elements. I have my family pictures. Now, our next page is this page that we did the belly band on. And I have this done. I had added a quote from the Bible, my very favorite quote from the Bible. I added that on here since I left. And now we have to do our notepad. So that's the project we're going to work on next. I'm going to move this whole book out of the way. We're going to do the notebook outside the journal. So let me just slide this out of the way. And we have our little notebook that we made, our notepad notebook. And this is where I'm going to put, I'm going to do a lot of journaling for one. And I'm going to put pictures, again, of family. So I'm going to start with my sister and I. And I have that torn a little crooked. Let me see if I can straighten that up just a little bit without doing any damage to the picture. Okay, so I don't know that I made it better, guys. You know what? Just cut it. It's got a crook to it. That's okay. So I will, because I have some white edges showing, and I know it's not going to stick to the glossy side, but it should stick to those white edges. I'm just going to go around it because the Distress ink does not stick to glossy. So hopefully it will cover these white edges where I've torn the paper a little bit. And now to put on that, I know I have my label for a sister that I can cut out. Rip out. So we have a sister, and we have one of my IMs. There we go. We know we want those on here. And we also know that they are too white. We don't like that at all. So we'll hit this up with a little bit of the Distress ink. Now, not every page in our little notepad will have a picture on it. The rest of the room I will be saving for journaling. So now we'll just do some collage work here. This is some of the paper that has some of the color on it, the dictionary paper that we've been using in our journal. So we put that right down along the side like that. And then maybe another piece on the other side. Just like that. And go through my scraps that I have left over from our project. We have a little bit of ledger paper that would look good down here. And all we need are scraps, guys, just to put underneath that page, that picture. It doesn't have to cover the whole back side. That would be like overkill because nobody's ever going to see it. We're going to glue our picture down and that's going to be that. So don't really even actually have to take the time to tear all three sides. Some little pink in there. We'll put this pink at the top up here. Pretty much all of my collage techniques are kind of straightforward. It's just putting a border around whatever my main image is, unless I'm doing like a snippet or something, and then it would be a little different. But when I'm doing something like this, it's pretty much all the same. So I probably will not show you. We won't go through my brother's as far as you watching what I'm doing, because it's going to be the same idea. So there we have that. And then if we have, what if I did the I am on the front? I think I will. And then I'll put a sister like here. To do I am a sister, it seems like it's just too big. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll collage this on top here like that. right, so let's go back to this page. The I am a sister needs something underneath it. We have some of this crazy pink paper that I had aged up. There's a video for what I did with that somewhere. Anyhow, even after I aged it up, the paper is just not my style of paper, but I will use a little piece right here. Maybe even a smaller piece. Let's go. Yeah. I'm going to put that there. And where is our gold paper? Here it is. A little bit of gold underneath there. That layered going on there. Okay, so let's get what we've got going on glued down, and then we'll do the fussying around with the sister part. So yeah, I'm going to start with this, ink up the edges, and it just needs to be the edges that are going to be shown. It doesn't have to be this inside edge that won't be even visible after we're all done. And we'll put it down with, come on, glue. There we go. Our Barely Art glue. And it's going to go under there. So even though we are a day past Mother's Day, I hope you all had a great Mother's Day. I hope that if your mother's still with you, that you did go see her. Or at least if you couldn't go see her, maybe you gave her a call or a text. Just something to let her know that you do care. And if you haven't done that yet, if your day was very busy yesterday, or you couldn't get a hold of your mom or whatever, it is not too late. It's never too late for a call to your mom. It's only too late when she's gone. All right, we'll glue our picture down. I'm going to move it over to the left a little. Just pull that piece of paper down so I can rub on this and not get anything on the picture. Okay, this is a photo of my sister and I out at the Outer Banks. I had never been to the ocean, and she was going out, and she asked if I'd like to go along with her and her family. I was so honored to be invited, and I'm like, yes, 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 I would love to go. So I went and had an awesome time. We were going out to Ocracoke Island here this day. Memories that I'll never forget. There we go. We had this big house that we had rented for the whole family, so we were all there together, and it was nice. All right, so I think maybe something more that just doesn't seem to be quite enough for me. This little piece of lace. I think just that little button right there. We need to snip off the backing on it, and it will lay flatter. Not real flat though, does it? Okay, so then what I need to do is to fix this with a little bit of 3-in-1 so that we don't lose this part that was attached. Just a little dab should do it. And I'm probably working off screen again. If there's one thing I'm good about, it's working off screen. Okay, and then we'll put some glue on the back of this. A little bit of glue to hold down our lace. Put put this right on the corner. I think maybe a little bit more glue. Yeah, that extra dab probably will do. There, that still adds a little dimension. I don't know, it's pretty hard to get away with keeping everything flat and still get the look that you want with having, I like having dimension. So there we go. That's what this is. Now I will continue on and I will do, let's see, we can do the I am on the front, but my brothers I will do off by myself. It's like I say, it's going to be the same thing. It's just some collage behind the paper, behind the picture, alongside the picture, a little element with the word brother on it. And you really, like I say, it's pretty much the same thing I do over and over and over again. I get stuck in ruts so easily. It's like the same thing. I just continue to do the same thing over and over and over. And here I go. I'm doing the same thing over and over and over. It's your comfort zone. We get in our comfort zone and we know that we can do what we do when we do it over and over. We know it's going to turn out nice. And then there's the days that you feel like a challenge and, well, it's probably not something you want to video for the first time if you're not so sure that it's even going to be anything that's going to be worth posting after you do it. So at least that's how it is with me. I like to do new things, but I like to do them off by myself so that if it doesn't turn out, I haven't wasted my time making a video or your time watching something that didn't turn out. And guys, I do have things that don't turn out, and my projects do not turn out every single time for me. So yeah, just so you know, it's not always beautiful. Do we want our I am up there? Do we want it down here? We're going to have a total of maybe this little cluster, this and this. So that's going, I'm going to count that as our 3. And I think I'm just going to put it right there. So I use a little bit of my fabric fusion to glue down my piece of fabric that I have there. And this is just some of the beat dyed fabric that I had made for our book. There we go. And we'll put some of this on the back of, and again, I'm probably off. I can't get used to working like out in front of me. I usually do everything right beside me. Maybe I need to adjust my camera so that I am doing things right beside me. But it's kind of hard to be doing the book right beside you. Well, there's a piece of that gold paper that just flew off the table, probably because it was sticking to, and it was yelling, put me on there, put me on there. Come on, don't leave me out. There we go. And we'll get our I am on here. We will just smooth that out. That's what we're doing here off screen. Smooth that out and put it on here just like so. There. I think I like that. We had that little tiny piece of lace. Let's just go ahead and, rather than letting that go by the wayside and ended up being thrown away, let's put it on here. There. That looks nice on there. Okay, so now we have labeled our little notepad. And we have done, these are some journaling pages here, my sister. And then I'm going to go through and do the rest of my family. And then I will be doing some journaling on here. So this is what you're going to see for this part. The rest is going to be for my eyes only. And there we have our notepad. Hope you enjoyed this project. I hope you have a wonderful day. here in north central PA, we have a lot of sunshine coming up over the next 4 or 5 days. I'm hoping to get outside and do some work in the flower beds. Maybe make another road trip. I did do one that I will be posting as soon as I get it finished. And let it be a surprise as to where I went. So you have a great day. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.